INFOWARS.com/events. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on in this world. The craziest of all is this explosive awakening. I can't wait to meet you and shake your hand. I'll see you in Dallas and I'll see you in Orlando. INFOWARS.com/events. Yeah, I'm signing these evil 1776 flags. Doesn't get any more out of control than that, ladies and gentlemen. It's pretty un-American what we're doing here at INFOWARS.com. I mean, not only are we promoting liberty, but we're selling 1776 flags. Now that is Al-Qaeda. And welcome back to InfoWars Nightly News, another bifurcated transmission. We had Rob doing a great job in the earlier news segment today. And now we're going to be joined by Fritz Springmeier. I had him on a few weeks ago, back on yesterday on the radio. But I wanted to have him back here commercial-free for 30 minutes or so to expand our discussion of the New World Order's goals, the way they're controlling us, and how it ties in with his seminal work, Bloodlines, the Illuminati, which, by the way, is available at InfoWars.com and is back in print. Very, very exciting to see that happening. And Fritz, who's published more than 15 books, is getting his publishing company back going, selling some of the books that he had in storage, and is now having the bank not just put a hold on his money, but take it. And we're not going to get too much into all the details. Everybody's familiar with this, that this is a new phenomenon in the last few years under the Patriot Act. It happens to our operation. It happens to little old ladies I know. It happens to my dad. It happens to everybody. Or when you try to use your credit card or your debit card to get gas, it says fraud control calls up to check. We're guilty until proven innocent. When you go to get a rent car, they're asking, where are you going? What you doing? Oh, you're visiting your mom? How's she? All going into a database. And the average American's not being told this. We're being treated like we're the bad guys. We're not the ones that the Justice Department caught framing people all across the United States with 98% fraudulent conviction rates in federal court. Do you really believe 98% of people are guilty? No. They have picked juries. They have lying federal informants that lie about people. The court system, all of it's discredited. And expanding on that, the system is now setting up this giant cashless control grid where you think Bank of America was bad and others announcing $5 fees to use your debit card. The globalists are admitting that once they have their global cashless society and even to use cash, there's going to be a camera there at the cash register that checks your digital photo, face scan with the driver's license database. This is all admitted. They're talking about now adding biometrics face scan on top of groping your wife and children and putting you in a microwave oven at the TSA. The TSA is now on the highways. They're training all of the vendors at the Super Bowl to spy on patrons. Next year, it rolls out to all Super Bowls. This is all about total control, no Fifth Amendment, no Fourth Amendment, no nothing. It is a complete revolution against our republic. So we'll start with that, with Fritz Springmeier, who, after being a political prisoner, and I've looked at the case, completely set up years after the fact for a bank robbery he didn't commit, guy with no criminal record before that, total setup with the feds on him because of this book. You talk about incendiary. I wish the stuff in this book wasn't true. When I first read it in the late 90s, I didn't believe a lot of it. But later, separately, continue to confirm much of what's in here. And that's why they went after him. So I hope and pray if they ever set me up with some crime I didn't commit, that you'll stand up for us as well. Because we have a government that ships guns into Mexico and drugs back into the U.S. to blame the Second Amendment and got caught, and no one has gotten in trouble. We have MF Global tied in with the White House, stealing $200 million, getting in no trouble, caught stealing it. And they're just like, that's what we do now. They've now announced they've taken all the veterans' pension funds. Those will be IOUs now. The federal pension funds have all been drained. That was in the news last week. IOUs. They're bringing it all down with martial law over it. All the investments, all the savings. They've destroyed the family. Everything is falling apart by design. Order out of chaos. So Fritz Springmeier joins us. If you want the book, Bloodlines, the Illuminati, you can get it at INFOWARS.com. That also supports our transmission. But also, Fritz Springmeier, again, trying to get all 16, 17 of his books back in print, or is it 19 total? I know a few are pamphlets. Trying to take the little bit of money we've given him to deposit it from the books we bought from him. Other books he's selling himself that he has a little bit of in storage that are out of print, basically, trying to do that. He's been with this bank since he got out of jail a year ago. And even when the check's clear, they just take it and say, we're keeping it. I mean, this is the new America. And this is the system where they turn you off. They turn your card off. They turn everything off, and no one's allowed to buy or sell. And they're saying TSA will control the streets of America as the brown shirts. You won't be able to have a job unless they approve it. The unions are already voluntarily doing this. It is a total reign of darkness that is being set up. They're harassing the Amish, the farmers, arresting people with lemonade stands, going after all people that are trying to be self-sufficient. It's just amazing. Fritz Springmeier, thank you for coming on with us. So let's break down this Orwellian cashless society.
Yes, great to be on. Thank you. Yeah, I wanted to emphasize that because in talking with a lot of youngsters, I realized that they grew up with this police state and they really don't understand the enormity of what you're talking about. They think this is normal. This tyranny is not normal. They've gotten us really prepared for this Orwellian newspeak that they have, war is peace, freedom is slavery, ignorance is strength. And so they're calling this tyranny security. So they can come along. I know this case of this grandmother. She had saved her money in a mattress. She didn't trust the banks, and she's moving from her place to move in with her daughter, and she's going through the airport with all this cash. Well, now they assume that you are guilty until proven innocent, so they seize the money from her. And of course, she didn't have any money to get an attorney to get her money back. She just got robbed. And
by the way, I was about to say, Fritz, it's worse than innocent. Or you're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. It's worse than guilty until proven innocent. It's we're taking the cash out of your wallet. There are cases in Texas and other areas where they pull over old ladies. This has been on CNN, and they got $2 grand in their wallet. And they say, why do you have this? And well, I'm Depression era. I keep a lot of money on me. And they go, nope, our new kangaroo law, we can just take that. No judge, no jury, no arrest. You can't prove it's yours. Even when people have bank receipts now, they're taking cash. When they raid houses for other reasons, find nothing wrong, find $10,000 in your safe, they just take it. It's a criminal group of scum. I'm sorry, but you're right. You're guilty until robbed and enslaved and gang raped by narcotics trafficking goons. It's not guilty until proven innocent. It's guilty until we totally enslave you.
That's correct. And so after I was on your show yesterday, I got to deal with that. I got my money back, but welcome to the New World Order. So, a picture how the founders of this country would feel if these kind of controls had been put on them back then in the revolution. Okay, you got to license your horse and have your horse inspected by the government before you can ride it. And you got to have emissions controls on your horse. And you got to have a license plate on your horse and driver's license to ride the horse, and then a separate driver's license for your buggy, and on, and all these taxes. How would they have felt? I mean, this was not what was intended. And the youngsters that have grown up in this police state, they really don't understand that this is not the way it was when I was young. It's changed. The police used to be your friend. They were there to protect you. They were there to help you. But now they're out looking for someone's head to bash in, and it's just so totally different. It's not got the same feel at all, and the youngsters don't realize this. So where we're going with all of this is, increasingly the government's taking more control, but they're being very sly about this, and that's where having the bigger picture helps, because it's more than the government. It's the people that are controlling the government, the families we've been talking about, the families that the bloodlines that are exposed in this Bloodlines of the Illuminati book. So the corporations are in cahoots with this whole thing. So what you're seeing is our cars are increasingly being controlled by the internet. As we go on through the next few years, they'll even take driving your car away from you, and your car will be controlled through the internet, and along with the rest of the cars on the road. So, we already have these smart cars that talk back to us and decide what they're going to do. It's going to be increasingly that way, and people's guard is not up because they don't realize that these corporations don't have their best interest. No,
they want to force all of us into an artificial environment, a controlled artificial habitat where everything is digital, so they can track, trace, and force fines and fees and things onto that you can't escape. And so it's about an artificial system where you're dependent on them. They admit this, and that's why they're coming after the underground economy, garage sales. I saw a Fox News headline, $15 million fine for garage sale, and I didn't believe it, and I went and read, and there it was. Yes, I'm not joking. If they say you sold a recalled toy, even though you didn't know, or a table, or any of tens of thousands of recalled things every year, you then get $1 million fine. And if they catch multiple items, it's up to 15 mil, and they come and just take your house. So again, here's all the big banks, offshore corporations, tax exempt, involved in every crime you can imagine. And meanwhile, they're throwing the book at the general public. These are just monopoly men. And we're getting so close to this control grid being in place.
Yes, very close. And so that's what we're dealing with here. And it's important for people to understand that there's controllers beyond the government. There's controllers beyond the corporations. The corporations, the governments, they're like unfriendly fronts for these power structures behind them. Same way with the organized religion. Organized religion has been set up to a large degree to control people, but who's controlling those organized religions? What semi-secret fraternal organization is controlling it? And then who's controlling those fraternal organizations? So it's like an onion that has layers and layers and layers to it. And what I've been doing is, over the last 25 years, is I've been peeling those layers of the onion free and describing them to people in books like the one that you've been talking about, The Bloodlines of the Illuminati.
Now, some people think you can't defeat the New World Order, but it's not even our job to defeat it. It's our job to stand up against evil and help others, because we don't fear those that kill the body, those that kill the soul. And the globalists themselves, as you know, they're all into the soul, the essence. They want to program us. They want to take free will. But we are having victories. The problem is people are asleep. They're in a trance. They're given a great delusion. But there is a great awakening. Even Zbigniew Brzezinski is now writing a new book about this. Hillary Clinton is admitting it. I don't think that the globalists are invincible, but I want to get your take and view on that.
Wow, I'm glad you brought that up. This whole interview is unrehearsed, so I didn't know what we would really be discussing, but that's great. Yes, there is hope. And I was asked to be the main speaker down in Ashland recently, and I met a group of young people who are dynamically creating alternative technologies to give us back our freedom and make us self-reliant, perpetual motion machines and stuff like this. They've really done a lot of incredible stuff. There is a lot of technology out there that could solve the problems that we have. So I would just